Hello everyone, this is the last session for today. So let's start. Good day my fellow educators. I'm Michelle Trifonia Soriano from the Ateneo, the Manila Grade School. As a teacher librarian with the subject Media and Information Literacy Program, or what we call MILP, which is considered one of the key components of the 21st century literacy and very essential, especially in today's online learning environment. To start, let me give you a short background on the topic. During the last year's ADL, which most of us were part for the development of course design, I was part of the AP team for grade 3. That's my grade level. As a member of the team for module development, one of the tasks is to identify relevant online learning resources and curate content for Araling Panlipunan or AP subject. So teachers will be able to access relevant online resources for module planning and design. Thus, sharing information and creating resources for AP curriculum reinforce the topics for the development of MILP modules, which focus on research as a lifelong learning skills for grade 3 students. So let me give you a little background about MILP program. So MILP aims to teach students the following. First, to be skillful and discriminating users of print and non-print resources, including the online. It is also designed to develop the habit of inquiry and stimulate the growth and development of the young mind in independent learning. And lastly, it also aims to develop appreciation and literacy for the different forms of media. To meet the developmental literacy needs of the students, what's the role of teacher librarians now? First is to implement information literacy program, then to plan interactive literacy modules and activities for lifelong learning, and third, to facilitate learning in and out of the classroom or what we call the remote setup or online setting. Accordingly, sharing of information sources and creating resources aids in the development of MILT modules which focus mainly on research. Now let me share about the objective of the modules. For competencies on basic research, students will learn how to cite sources or content they use from the websites and why it's important to identify the important parts. And second, to show responsibility in using and sharing information from online resources, of course, independently. In teaching the lessons, the following knowledge, skills, and attitudes are identified. So for knowledge, students will explain how giving credit is a sign of respect for people's work and also define internet research. And lastly, to know the difference and characteristic of good website. So for skills, they will learn to give credit in their schoolwork for content they use from the web and practice citing sources in searching for online resources. And for attitudes, appreciate the importance of these resources and show responsibility in using and sharing information online, especially as young as they are. So these are the knowledge, skills, and attitude. Now let's take a look at the MILP learning process for 2 quarters. In the second quarter, teaching the lesson on digital citizenship, through this lesson, students will learn why it's important to cite their sources by giving credit to the originator of the idea and the right ways to do it when they use words, images, or ideas that belong to others. And then under summative, the students will identify the 4 important parts in an online resource. Then they will practice on the use of websites and citing sources. Now, for the third quarter, in this lesson, students will be exposed to the different kid-friendly search engines to help them find credible, useful, and original sources for schoolwork. Simultaneously, students will explore and use the different recommended search engines to find a topic given to them. So for students to be responsible users of online information, they will apply what they have learned by reading an article and identify the four important parts in the given online resource. So in this example, in this Let's Give Credit activity, students will participate in the practice exercise on identifying the four parts in a web page. And here they will identify the title, author, date created, or the date, and then the website or the URL. Now, in this another evaluation on online challenge, which was given as asynchronous work and part of the exploration, students will be able to explore good websites using the kid-friendly search engines. So here, this was the topic given to them in AP, and they will just complete this form with the URL, author, the creator, title, date published, and the information they have learned about the topic assigned. And then after identifying the important parts on a website and the information they have learned using the recommended search engines based on the topic assigned to them, students will do a self-check evaluation of their work and answer the following question. Is it a wiki? Does it end with .edu or .org? Does the description match what they are looking for? Did they use a kid-friendly search engine? And lastly, did they find the four important parts of a website? Now, students will score their own work by answering yes or no. So by looking at this slide, for every yes answer, they will copy and paste the check mark in my score column for the items 2 to 5. And for no answer, they can go back and recheck their work for complete output. So this is the time they will do a review of their learning activity before submission. Now, here is another self-check on research skills. Evaluation questions on Google Form were given as an assignment. And in this form, 464 students, you can see on the screen, answered the evaluation to know what they have learned from MILP modules. Let's take a look for some of the items. So in this item, students are asked to research about makasaysayang lugar sa Pilipinas. How will they know if the information is written by a credible source? So if you look at the left side here, all of the choices here are correct. And they need to do the steps by reading the information, checking the author, the date, and the dot extension. Here, 86% or equivalent to 399 students shared the same answer. And that is to read the information first to find accurate sources. Next is to find out if the articles are current or up to date. And then 61% of the students identified to check the date for currency of the material they used. Okay, another one about search engine, 62% identified that Kids Network is not a search engine. It is a website for parents and teachers that provides educational activities. And then for this question, what should you remember in doing an internet research for schoolwork? So based on the choices here, all are correct. And students learn what to check and also to remember the steps in doing a research. So now, are they ready? Are the students ready to find credible sources? Using a scale from 1 to 5, where number 1 is not confident and number 5 is the highest for very confident, almost 98%. If we add numbers 3, 4, 5, we combine this together, almost 98% of the students are confident in searching and finding reliable source of information on the web. So now students are ready to find smart websites and resources that are helpful, especially for their schoolwork in different subject areas. So for the key learning points in our today's discussion, let me start with the digital citizenship. So it is our goal to keep our students safe and secure while teaching them the skills they need to be digital citizens. And this includes use of technology, internet safety, netiquette, among others. And of course, it comes with responsibility. Now that the students are familiar with the kid-friendly websites where they can access resources for online learning, they should also know how to be responsible users of these resources, like how to use and share reliable information from the web. Now, next is, collaboration. The research skills students learned in MILP subject are applied across all subject areas, specifically for project-based research. So in this case, at the start of our presentation, the sharing of materials and for AP teachers, and also I made a PowerPoint for them that they can use about how to teach research in AP, and also articulation with the academic coordinator is also one of the factor, and collaboration also with subject teachers, like with the science and reading, and teacher librarians also are essential for module planning and development. So we also have to take note of the decision making and critical thinking in the ethical or proper use of digital resources. So for the last point here, which is the lifelong education, we let the students explore and practice online skills to build confidence through mastery. That's why we have practice exercises simultaneously during our MILP online sessions. So through research skills, student cites the sources of his submitted document or article from primary and even for secondary sources. And in this manner, we enable them to reflect by staying intellectually stimulated, and then reinforce and also to enhance their skills as a reader, as a writer, and critical thinker. Thus, media and information literacy for the 21st century learners are very essential for lifelong learning. Okay. So today, MIL is an integral part of lifelong learning. The benefits of media and information literacy for students are multifold. So by being MIL competent, students, teachers, and our community are able to access, evaluate, produce, and disseminate information and media content using appropriate technology and, of course, the skills. Teaching media and information literacy helps also to foster critical thinking in students. It also fosters the skills that help teachers work together in collaboration. That's the word there, collaboration, because it encourages respectful conversation and sharing of knowledge to build a great impact on our learners. So we continue on improving to deliver the best possible learning experiences that we can give to our learners. And this is how designing modules plays an important role in aligning curriculum and assessment and improving learning experiences of our learners. So with that, thank you to ADL for giving me an opportunity to share my experience on a responsive and adaptive MILP, and thank you to everyone here for listening. Okay, muli magandang hapon. Ako po si Michelle Soriano, or you can call me Mikey, mula sa Ateneo de Manila, grade school. Maraming salamat.
We will now be starting the question and answer portion. If you have any questions, you may raise your hand and unmute yourself when called, or type your question in the chat box. Thank you.
Yes, Miss Tini, kindly unmute.
Hi, good afternoon po, Miss Mikey. I saw in the open-ended self-check form that you gave to your students, the last part said, what did you learn from the information source? So were there instances wherein some students would copy and paste information directly from the website? And how did you respond to their answers this way?
Okay, thank you for your question. Well, in our online setting, it's very easy for our student to just copy and paste. But during our session, even for the other subjects, for AP, for reading, for MILP, we always tell the students, and it's part of the lesson, that they need to not just to copy and paste, but also to prevent that plagiarism. Okay, that's the term for that, is that they need to at least rephrase the information before they can use it in their schoolwork or assignment. Or sometimes they can use the quotation marks, or according to the author, according to the writer, they can use those words instead of just copy and paste. But of course, um, in terms of copy and paste, better also if the teacher really reads the assignment submitted by the students. Like in my case, um, when I check the work of the boys, I can see that some are just copy and paste. Okay, that's the reality that is really happening right now, even for the last year. And then for that, I can easily comment in the form, or in the teacher's note, that they can improve their work. Okay, especially if I'm not satisfied with the answer of the boys. So basically, to prevent that, we really have to tell again and again to the students that they need to not just copy and paste, and it's very important to really add the sources of their information. So I hope I did answer your question.
Hi, Miss Mikey. Perhaps you can also provide your contact information in case they have any questions for you.
Okay. So I'll just type in the chat box my email here, msoriano at ateneo.edu. I'm just wondering also if all of the teachers here are educators, or teacher librarians from other institution. Hello, Miss Posadas. For the information of everyone, MILP is incorporated with the reading subject. So it means if we have reading for grade 3 students for 1.5 hours or 1.5 sessions, meaning when we have the MILP under the reading time, the 1.5 hours will be for the MILP topic alone. Okay, so basically this is once a quarter. But as you know, we're handling, for example, for 16 sections in a level. So my experience is I'm handling 8 sections of grade 3. And then each of these sections, I'll be meeting them for a week for 1.5 hours. So I'll be handling 8. And then the other 8 sections, with the help of the teacher librarians, they are based in the different level. Like there is a teacher librarian for grade 2, 4, 5, 6. So they will handle the other 8 sections. So basically there are, aside from me, there are 4 other teacher librarians that are helping me in the level for the MILP modules. So that's it. Hello, Vincent from Ateneo de Davao Senior High School, Xavier School, thank you, grade 3. GBC. Hello, Miss De Leon. So we have librarians from Xavier School, San Juan. Davao University, Xavier, Nubali. Okay. How do you, there's a question here. May I read the question now? How do you conduct library orientation in the online setup? Okay, that's a very good question. Based on our experience from last year for the online setup, usually on the first quarter, we had our orientation for grades 4, 5, and 6 students. And then we introduced to them the online or the digital library or the online library of the Katigbak Educational Media Center or the Ateneo Grade School Library. Okay, so same with the MILP. We conduct the library orientation and plus the MILP module topic during the first quarter. And then for the higher grades, 4, 5, 6, we call the subject that we're using is for English. Okay, so for the higher grades, the English class, we partner with them, and then we will be having our MILP session together with the orientation of the digital sources, and then the what we call the KMC Google site, and also the MILP module. So basically for the higher grades, also for research and a touch of digital citizenship also. So that's it. Okay. And also may I inform everyone that in the Ateneo Grade School, the teacher librarians are not only teaching the MILP subject, we're also class advisors or class teachers. So aside from the section that we're handling for that particular level, we're also teaching them MILP. So that's it. Okay, so thank you for your sharing, Marian Posadas. Same here also, aside from the session, the online session, we also prepared some videos and policies or on how to borrow books. Yes, it's the same. We also have some guidelines or rules to follow on how to borrow books. And basically, there's a form for that, what we call the Google form. The students will fill up the form for that, and then they can pick up the books or the learning materials from the grade school. Okay, there's a pick-up point for that. And then there are library staff that are always available on site that can be the one checking the borrowing of books for students and also for teachers. Okay, so same, even for the how to search a book or how to get in online information online. And then we also have, aside from that, we also have the Epic Library where they can find fiction and non-fiction ebooks or stories or videos that they can use and they can read for their schoolwork or even for their during their free time or relaxation. They can access Epic Library for that. And also, last fourth quarter, we introduced the boys to Buri Books, which is the Adarna um, digital library collection for Filipiniana stories or Filipiniana books. So that's it. Yeah, that's true, Tini. And not only for MILP, the reading teachers also are fond of using Epic.